up, YouTube? This is my 10 random reasons why I love being fat. I love being fat because I love my curves. I love being fat because I love my cheap little chunk of cheeks. I love being fat because I love my long built legs. I'm 5'9", 6 feet in heels, so yeah, I love my long legs. I love being fat because I love my arms, the way it feels when I give hugs, like bear hugs, squeezes. I love being fat because I can wear a pair of jeans nicely. I love being fat because I love my tummy. I love being fat because I love my smile. I love my fingers. I love my toes. And I love me. That's 10 reasons why I love being fat. The word fat is not a bad word and should not make fat people feel bad.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to address some comments that was made by a sister on one of the videos I did recently, the 80's the new 40 video, where I was talking about accepting yourself the way you are when you're obese or in a state of dis-ease. And a sister took issue with that, you know. She seemed to be under the impression that I was saying that if you don't love yourself, or you shouldn't love yourself the way you are if you are obese, then the alternative must be to hate yourself. And I guess I could see how she might have took it that way, or it might have seemed that that's what I was saying, but of course that's not what I was saying. So I just want to get into that and address what exactly did I mean, in case I didn't make that as clear as I could have. But before I do that, I just want to address my sister, Queen Foster. I think that's your name in your channel. The sister I just found recently. Well, she just recently subscribed to my channel and been watching your videos and stuff, you know. I appreciate the kind words. Appreciate you calling me crazy too. You know I'll be that. Ain't no other way to be. Shit. But yeah, I'm glad that worked out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you and Unique. What up, Unique? It's my sister there, man. You know what I'm saying? It's good people. That's why I turned her on to you, and I knew she could relate to what you was going through. But yeah, I meant what I said too. You know, that kind of threw me off a little bit when you said that, you know, when I said to you in the message that if you need anything, or if I can assist you in any way, to let me know, you know. And I do say that to a lot of people, but I always mean that though, you know. And I think it is fucked up that we kind of brush that off when people say that as, oh, it's just talk, like it's just some shit people say, and it's true, you know what I'm saying? I don't blame you for that. That is some shit people just say, but I'm not like that. Like, I'm genuinely here to help. I feel like that's my duty to do that. And I got a weird message. It wasn't weird, it was just odd to hear. When a brother left that on a comment to another video, he was saying that, he said, I actually respond to people. Like, when y'all hit me on the comments or on the personal messages, as much as possible, I try to respond. You know, unless it's something that just don't require a response. But, yeah, I think that's kind of fucked up, that a lot of these dudes on their little superstar shit, and they feel like they too big or too good to reply and respond to people. I ain't on that. So I just want to let that be known that I am here. Like, don't ever feel like that. I don't ever think that I feel like I'm too big or too busy or too anything, like too good to take a little time to answer a question, you know, unless it's something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Even then, I'd probably still answer it. But, so, Just wanted to say that for the record. Like, yeah, man, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up, man. If I can't help, like, I'll tell you if I don't know the answer. Like, but I'm not gonna ignore nobody. But and just as far as that video you posted too, man, like, I really wanted to say more than I did, but I didn't even know what to say. Like, that's why I just said I second that. The comment that the sister made, I think that's a sister, Afro Vegan. It was like, you know, I couldn't really come up with anything better than that. That was great advice. But I was amazed by the sisters, period. Just all of y'all who commented on that video. Because it just tripped me out, because I know how I might come across, you know what I'm saying, how I might seem sometimes, and a lot of people think I'm emotionless and cold and insensitive. I hear all that type of shit. But I said a long time ago, when I first got on YouTube, that it's something about the sisters, man, that y'all, you know, break me down every time. I just melt. Like, I'm a wuss when it comes to y'all. Like, real talk. I don't have no problem admitting that shit either. Because that shit, your video fucked me up. Like, that shit hurt me kind of. Like, I ain't gonna say hurt me. Moved me. That's a better word. Like, yeah. It kind of broke my heart a little bit. Like, I was all sad. And then I just tripped out because I read all the comments and nobody else seemed to be sad like me. Like, all y'all other sisters laughing out loud and shit. LOL and hey, this, that, and the other, and don't beat yourself up. Like, very encouraging. You know what I'm saying? It was great what y'all did. But I was amazed by it because I couldn't have done that. Like, I was literally about to type, "Aww, don't cry, sis." Like, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Like, the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, "Oh man, this is so sad." You know what I'm saying? Like, "Oh, don't cry, baby." I just want to wipe your face and real talk. That's how I was feeling the whole time. That's why I didn't comment, because I'm glad I read the other comments before I just went with my first instinct, which was to console you and shit. Because that's how I was feeling at the time. Like, that shit kind of, I don't know, I'm just a sucker for that shit. Like, I hate to see y'all cry, especially when it's real. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know women can use tears as a weapon, so I've learned to ignore that shit. I damn sure say you shut that shit up. But when it's real, like, I can't take it. Like, that shit broke me down. I was just like, damn. And I knew how much you really wanted to reach your goal. Like, I know how disappointed you were in yourself. And I really hate to come with the whole same old cliches. Oh, don't beat yourself up. Everything's gonna be okay. Pick yourself up. You know what I'm saying? All that shit. Fuck that. Yeah, you just gotta commend the sisters, man. 'Cause y'all know what to say. And that's why I said I just instantly thought of Unique. Like, yeah, that might work. They might be able to help each other. Like, she definitely can relate to what she's going through. So I just listened to, what I was told to do and just went on and did that. So I'm glad it worked out. Anyway, shout out to you, sis. Once again, I say this publicly, like I told you, that I commend you for keeping it 100 with yourself. As you might have noticed if you read the comments to the 80s The New 40 video, everybody don't agree with that. Which leads to why I'm making this video in the first place, because it's that inability or that unwillingness to keep it 100 with yourself that keeps most of us in the same position we've been in. It keep you stagnant and, content. You just give up, get discouraged because you've accepted this diagnosis that you gave yourself. You accepted your fate. Nah, man. Create your own. That's what it's really all about. So, was I saying that you should hate yourself if you become obese or overweight or in a state of disease, period? Absolutely not. That's not what I was saying at all. What I'm saying is you cannot truly love yourself until you truly are yourself. That was the point of that video. That the person you see every day in the mirror is not you. It's not the true you. That's not the real you. That's what you have become. So don't confuse yourself into thinking that what you have become is who you are truly or who you are destined to be. That's a circumstance. That's your situation. And absolutely, you should be unhappy with your situation. Maybe you should even hate it if you want to use that word. Yeah, fuck it. Hate your situation. The example I gave the sister was slavery, for example. If you're a slave, you don't have to love being a slave. The more you love being a slave, the longer you'll continue to be a slave. If you ever just started to dislike it, if you got to a point that you disliked it enough, maybe even hated it. If you hated it enough, then you might be motivated to change that situation. You might decide to get the fuck up out of slavery. Maybe you'll do whatever the fuck it takes to free yourself, depending on how bad you hate it. Or how unhappy you are with the situation. See, that's what type of shit I'm talking about. Many of us have accepted slavery and are happy being slaves. Think about it, man. A lot of us happy to be slaves. Not only happy to be slaves, they'll fight to maintain the system of white supremacy. So let's keep this shit 100, man. This is mental illness. This is the state we in. And these things are across the board. That's why I'm holistic with this shit. I see how all this shit is connected. Normally, the type of people who accept a physical illness or disease or a state of disease in their body will accept a state of disease in their environment, in the society. Because you really can't have one without the other. You got to be sick in your head before you can be sick in your body. You got to be, yeah, that's the truth. You already got to not be thinking right when it comes to food to even put the wrong shit in your mouth. So we can't just act like that shit don't, tie in together. And that if you love yourself, like my sister just said on her new video, there's certain things you just wouldn't do if you really loved yourself. So all that talk is cheap. Like y'all, you just be talking out your ass. You don't have to keep saying, oh, I love myself, or I'm going to keep teaching people to love themselves. You wouldn't have to say that if you looked like you loved yourself. The only reason you even feel the need to defend that position is because when I look at you, I'm going to say, oh, you don't really know your worth. You don't know your value, which was a better word. Like I said, you came back and said I should have said value instead of loving yourself. I agree. But either word will fit. It don't matter. If you truly valued yourself, then there's certain things you would not do to yourself. If you truly loved yourself, same thing applies. So whichever words you use, it still don't change the fact that you obviously don't love or value yourself. If you knew better, you would do better. Now, I don't know how to deal with people who got emotional attachments to food, except to tell you that you will never fill that gap looking outside of yourself. Whatever you going to console you and make you feel better and sedate you for that moment, it's only for that moment. Just be honest with yourself and know what your thing is. What's your problem? But know you got a problem. That's what I'm saying. Just know you got a problem. It's the first step to recovery, right? Gotta be able to admit that shit. You're gonna have to be able to keep it 100 with yourself. If you were a junkie, would you be happy with that? If you were an alcoholic, would you be happy with that? So why would you be happy with a food addiction or drug addiction? Drugs masquerading as food addiction. You can't even get addicted to real food. It's not possible. So if you're addicted to eating, what you're eating is more than likely not food in the first place. So you're a drug addict, and you've convinced yourself that it's okay to be a drug addict and to walk around looking like a drug addict. I'm just telling you, there's no difference. If you believe it's okay to accept yourself in that state, then you believe it's okay to accept yourself as a wino or a crackhead or a meth head or whatever, as an addict, period. People with addictions, lives usually end up ruined. No matter what you're addicted to, gambling, drugs, sex, food, this shit will ruin your life. So how can you say you're going to keep telling people to love themselves in that state? That's evil. Really, if you want to be honest about it. What good are you doing them? No, don't teach them to hate themselves. Teach them to hate that condition. Hate the situation, the circumstance that you have put yourself in. Know that you put yourself in it, because that's the only way you will get yourself out. That's all I got to say about that. Love you. The real you. But you got to know who the fuck that is first. When you're looking in the mirror, and you're looking at what you've mutated into, and you love that, something's wrong. If you love being unhealthy, See, value don't even work no more. That don't even make sense to say you value being unhealthy. See, that's how I know there's a disconnect. You haven't connected fat or obesity with being unhealthy yet. And that's crazy. You can't separate the two. There's no way you are overweight and healthy at the same time. Being overweight is a symptom of being unhealthy. Period. Healthy bodies don't get overweight. So, I don't know. Instead of teaching people to love themselves, maybe you should spend more time teaching people how to take care of their health and take care of themselves. Show that you love yourself and you value yourself. Don't just talk about it. Stop talking it. Live it. Let it be shown through your actions. Don't let me catch you poisoning yourself. And then you tell me you love yourself or value yourself at the same time. You're full of shit. Really, let's be, no need beating around the bush about this. Just as full of shit as a crackhead or a wino who pretends that they enjoy being a drunk and a junkie. It's a lie that you sometimes have to tell yourself just to be able to cope. Just so you don't kill your damn self. Because otherwise you look crazy, right? You'll be crazy to keep doing something that you know is making you miserable. Who the fuck wants to admit that, right? People who are ready to change their life will admit that. The people who eventually recover and get better and heal themselves admit that. They face those facts and they can deal with themselves and move forward. You know what I realized though? That a lot of people have a problem, or a lot of people's inability to get their health together is the fact that they have an inability, they lack the ability to visualize themselves healthy. This is why I tried to stress the fact that nobody is born in this state of disease and that you're not destined to be this way. Shout out to Nasty Block for acknowledging that, keeping it 100 with yourself. But yeah, that's the problem. Like, I see it all the time. I got a homeboy who just so happened to take this information and run with it. He, about the only brother that grew up with me that's on this shit with me. But his brother is sick as fuck, fat as hell, just got out the hospital for the umpteenth time. Who knows how many times he done been in the hospital. But I was telling my homeboy that I guarantee you that your brother cannot see himself in any other way than he is right now. Like, he been this way as long as I've known him. And I've known these brothers since we were in high school. Like, over 15 years. Damn near 20 years now. And all the time I've known him, he's been the same size. And that's just since I've known him. So he didn't just get that way when we met. So he was probably like that 10 years prior to me meeting him, at least. So that image, man, that's the image of himself that he sees when he go to sleep at night. When he closes his eyes and think of himself, he gonna always see that big boy, the fat dude, the unhealthy guy that he's always been. It's just like when I was in jail, when I would go to sleep, even though they had shaved all my hair off. I ain't had no beard, no mustache, nothing. I ain't had no hair nowhere on my head. But every time I go to sleep, I still dreamed of this person. That was still the image I had of myself when I closed my eyes. I hadn't lived as this other person long enough for that shit to, take over my subconscious. My image of myself never changed. So that's what I think is the key right there, family. If you can visualize yourself healthy, some kind of way. I don't know how you can do it. Like, I know it sounds damn near impossible if you ain't never seen yourself healthy. But some of us have. Some of y'all have. Some of y'all got like this in your adult years. And you got pictures of before you had kids, or before you got married, or before you hit a certain age, or took a certain job, or whatever it is. You might got some pictures and shit laying around of how you used to be. Or it might be a picture of one of your ancestors. You might have to find a picture of your mother or somebody when she was in good shape, and use that. Or you find a picture of somebody else, some fitness model, or somebody who lost a lot of weight and now they are a health guru or something. You're going to have to use these images. Excuse me. You're going to have to use these images, because you're going to have to put that in your head, in your subconscious. You're going, every time you close your eyes and see yourself in the future, you're going to have to see yourself healthy. And if you can't do that, I don't believe you'll never be able to get right. You'll never be able to get yourself together until you have a clear vision in your head of yourself in your most divine state. What do you have to work towards? You gotta have that visualization. You gotta have that goal in your head, that picture in your head. And I think that shit is very important. So that's what I want to encourage you all to do. If you haven't done it yet, if you don't have a picture of yourself in the past you can use, then find a picture of somebody else and you put your face on their body. I mean, if you literally have to do that, you can do that shit now easily. Photoshop your head onto their body and look at that shit until you got that shit in your subconscious mind. When you close your eyes, you don't see the fat suit anymore. You see yourself healthy, and you keep that image. I'm talking about, you got to stamp that shit into your head so that when you dream, that's what you see. And have no doubt that you can achieve that. Because once you can see it, you can be it. That's why this is so important. Because that's the only thing stopping you from accomplishing anything in your life, is your failure to properly visualize it and to hold on to that image. It's real talk. Have that clear vision, that clairvoyance. If you see healthy, you'll be healthy. Peace.